Welcome back, viewers. You are still tuned into Prime Live. We are going to be joined by Telana Simpson, the Matchstick Girl, turned entrepreneurial catalyst on a quest to light the entrepreneurial flame within aspiring business owners. She transformed a humble office space into a 6-month haven of office space at Raizcorp, where she is now extending a call to action to startup entrepreneurs in search of a supportive space to help ignite their ventures. Telana joins us now. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us on Prime Live.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
It's such a privilege to have this conversation with you, especially I'm really excited to delve into this conversation because we need more individuals like you who believe in nurturing that very entrepreneurial spirit that does exist within many South Africans. But before we get into all of that, what actually inspired you to embark on your coaching journey and how did it evolve into what it is today?
I actually stumbled on coaching by accident, and I was hired by a fast food chain and actually trained to be a coach their staff. And I loved the concept so much, I went and studied it further. It was in the time when no one actually knew what life coaching was, especially in South Africa. So I studied it further. Now, 20 years later, I specialize in courage and communication and helping people be more courageous. And one of my big areas that I'm really interested in is that entrepreneurial space. How do we get more people to overcome that fear of failure, to actually take that step and start a business? Because you really need more people venturing it down that path, really finding a way to create businesses that will hopefully stimulate our economy and, most importantly, create jobs.
Absolutely. With unemployment where it is, we do know that there is a lot of talent and unique individuals in South Africa that do have a lot of incredible ideas. But like you said, they don't necessarily have that, that fire within them to take that big leap of faith that it is to move from a 8 to 5 to actually going into something on your own. It can be quite a big leap, and a lot of people can actually have amazing ideas but maybe not have the courage yet to do that. But can you tell us more about the One Matchstick project, including the ups and downs and some of the lessons that you also were able to learn along the way?
Well, as I said, when I stumbled onto coaching and then decided to study further, there weren't really jobs to become a coach. So I thought I need to start my own business. And at that time, which is, like, as I said, 20 years ago. So I really needed an office. It was a bit awkward coaching from home. So I thought, if I need an office, I'm sure there's other startups, other people that are starting a venture that need some space. And I had heard of Carl McDonald in Canada, who was busy trying to turn a red paperclip into a house. And the concept just blew me away. And what was on the desk happened to be a box of matches. So I thought, wonder if I could turn a single matchstick into office space where I could use some of that space, but also allow other entrepreneurs to help, use the space as well to take their business forward. So I literally got onto the blogs. It was very early in blogging in those days, and Facebook and that. And I said to the world, I've got this matchstick. This is my goal, to help entrepreneurs. Who will trade with me? And I'm going to just give you the shortened version, because I swapped that matchstick for a pen, the pen for a toy, the toy for 2 books, the books for 2 cases of wine, the wine for a holiday, the holiday for cash, the cash for a hot air balloon flight. That flight I traded with a DJ for a party. That turned into 375 designer T-shirts. I traded each of those T-shirts with 375 people and combined that into a trade of a private rock concert with Wonderboom, one of our great rock bands. That then I traded into 3 boxes of gear. And that gear I actually battled to trade a bit, and eventually I changed my strategy. I went and found someone who would give me the office space and asked them what they needed. And I managed to then connect the 3 boxes of gear to a podium, a TV, a projector, and blinds for their training room at Raizcorp. And that's how I got the office space. So now I have access to those offices if I need to do some training or coaching of my clients. And then we went out and searched for an entrepreneur to give that office space to. So I've just gone solely blank on the one Matchstick entrepreneur, Morris. He got, he actually applied and won, and he is currently in that office space growing his business.
Thank you for sharing that.
So,
I mean, what an incredible journey that is. And I mean, I really respect the hustle in so many ways. I mean, it's amazing from, where you started to where you are now. It's incredibly inspiring. But what I also want to talk about is identifying those potential startups, those hidden gems. Were you able to identify the potential startups or entrepreneurs who would be a good fit for that office space, as well as support you were offering?
it was actually quite tricky because I went out into the world and I said, I've done it, I've reached the office space, now I'm ready to share it with someone. And we wanted to find someone who was in a startup phase, like early in their business, or at least had a big leap to make and specifically needed office space for it. And what was quite a challenge, because I've actually learned since, I think, COVID, we've changed the way we do work. We're much more open to being fluid around office space. So I didn't get as many applications as I had hoped, and I didn't, I just didn't seem to get it. A lot of people who wanted the space were not able to take it here in Johannesburg. They said it's such a pity. I just don't live in that city. And it came down to two people, and then I had a panel with me. I had Alon Reyes of Raizcorp as one of the judges, because it is his office space that the person's going to come in, and myself and another person that I traded with in respect, Mongisi Mtati. And the three of us each looked at the two entrepreneurs, sent in a video and explained why they wanted the office space. And I interviewed them both and got more information from them. And from that, we had a discussion and decided that Morris was most suited to take the best, make the most use of the opportunity. He does a lot of copywriting and translation and needed a quiet space and a space that he could invite people into in order to do the kind of work that he's doing.
Now,
So that was how we did that. Yeah.
no, that's incredible. I mean, it's amazing to see the opportunity that beyond that you've created for other people, and giving them, this nurturing kind of clear space, like you said, to work, but also to grow. And I love your dedication to allowing others to grow. And what we talked about earlier in the conversation is, like you said, we need more entrepreneurs in South Africa. We need more employment, and we need to be, fostering this kind of entrepreneurial mindset amongst the people in South Africa. But in order to do that, like the statistics show that a lot of smaller businesses fail within the first year of them trying, or either there are a lot of people there with dynamic and innovative ideas. However, they might not have the tools and the resources to be able to get their ideas moving and actually turn it into a successful business. Why do you believe that it's important to provide resources as well as guidance to entrepreneurs looking to launch their idea or their brands?
I think it's very important to provide the resources, because, as I said, we need to support those people that are actually willing to take that step and attempt to grow something. And in South Africa, we don't really have a strong culture of supporting when someone fails. Like, when we just laugh, we ridicule, so a lot of people are so scared of that judgment and being ostracized by society that they're not even willing to take the chance, the risk. So my big interest, as I said, in the work I do is around how do we help people overcome that fear and have like the inner strength and the courage and the mindset in order to do that. So from One Matchstick was born my podcast called Risk and Rise. And there I interview a lot of people who have taken a risk to try and share the stories of people who have gone there before, and asking them about entrepreneurship, what helped them be more successful, how, as they, most of them, it's interesting, they see failure as a learning. And over again, that theme is coming out. So that's important, but also there are so many. When I started, there were not many incubated type of places. There were very few resources, and now there are a tremendous amount of companies that are doing their best to try and support people and get them to grow through not only the first, phase of 6 months, but for example, Raizcorp, I think only takes you if you've been in business for 3 years, and then they help you go that next step. So this was a bit different in that here is a younger entrepreneur, a newer entrepreneur using some of their space. But yes, so I've actually got a list on my website of resources for entrepreneurs. There's a lot of learning online. And I think it's also useful if we start to talk to each other, not only about our failures and how we cope, to normalize it, to help people understand it is so normal and good to actually fail, because that's how you learn. It's about if you get stuck in that failure and you don't deal with the consequences and you don't make changes quickly, that's where the real danger lies. So yeah, there's a lot of resources online for that, but also we can learn from other people's mistakes. With the internet nowadays and with the information age, there's so much information out there. If we just look for it, you'll be amazed at how much support is actually there. So I really hope that more people will reach out and look for resources, because as you said, it's a certain kind of capacity in a person to actually come up with the idea and want to solve a problem and create a business around it. And we really should be supporting and encouraging those people as much as we can, because they are the ones that are not only going to solve some of our problems in society, they're going to make our lives better, and they're going to create jobs. And I think it's just so important that we get more people working.
I think what you've said is so incredibly powerful. I think we need to approach entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship with a lot less judgment. And like you said, we need to provide resources and guidance right at the onset of when they're starting their businesses, not 3 years down the line when they've already had too many chances to fail and not enough knowledge, not enough skill, and not enough resource to be able to get their business to that level of 3 years. But Telana, thank you so much for joining us this evening. This has been incredibly insightful. Our viewers at home, I absolutely encourage that you go through to the website to reach out and connect with Telana if you would like to work with her. And of course, they can also access your resources and guides on your website as well. But thank you so much for joining us this evening, and as well as sharing your insight, your expertise, and your experience with us.
It's been a pleasure, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Viewers at home, that was Telana talking to us all about her entrepreneurial journey, but more than that, more than her entrepreneurial journey, but her passion to ignite passion within other entrepreneurs, but also providing them with the much needed guidance and support to be successful. I think we have a lot of interesting individuals in South Africa with a lot of amazing ideas who don't have enough courage or support or resources to help get their ideas into flourish into a successful business.